How's it going, everybody? Got some Week 14 waiver wire ads here for y'all on the return of the Guru Nation podcast. What's good, everybody? Spencer the Guru here, ready to get you right for Week 14. We won't waste any time. Let's get right into it. Here we go, y'all. The running back position, the first one we will address here for this week, because I tell y'all what, there is a rookie for the San Francisco 49ers that is a must add, and that's Isaac Guerendo. Christian McCaffrey on IR. Jordan Mason also headed to IR. Both top 49ers running backs are down and out. So with them out of the picture, it leaves no one but Guerendo to lead this 49ers backfield. He had 99 yards back in week 10, y'all. This dude shows what he can do, and he scored a touchdown late against the Bills. I think it's clear and obvious that Isaac Guerendo is a top waiver wire ad. Only 1.3% rostered, basically available in every league. So go ahead and add this man. He is one of the top waiver wire ads of the year, I'd say. The last few weeks hadn't had a whole lot on the waiver wire, but I tell you what, this is one of those chances where you can strike gold. If you've been saving up your fab money, for those that play in free agent auction bidding leagues where you can bid on players on the waiver wire, well, just blow it all this week on Guerendo. He's not going to have an opportunity like this come up again the rest of the year, more than likely. So, yeah, go ahead and add Guerendo. I don't know how many more times I have to say it, but in case you haven't got the message yet, go ahead and add Isaac Guerendo. All right. Moving on now to the other guys on the list. Ray Davis, y'all. He was also a rookie that shined in that Bills 49ers matchup, 11.3% rostered. He had a touchdown there, 63 yards. You know, he's a guy that he hadn't had a whole lot of work this year, but when he has had work, he's been very explosive, very efficient with limited touches. So James Cook's still the guy in Buffalo. They had the lead, so they kind of started giving Ray Davis more later in the game. But I tell y'all what, if something would ever happen to James Cook, Ray Davis would be an excellent handcuff. He's got a couple of juicy matchups down the stretch. Week 16, New England. Week 17, the Jets. So if you've got extra room on your roster, go ahead and add Ray Davis. He's a nice insurance policy to James Cook, who would definitely have standalone value if Cook were to get injured. And then one for deeper leagues, y'all to keep an eye on. Kimani Vidal, the rookie for the Chargers. Only 20 yards on 4 carries last week. Nothing special, but only 3 less touches than Gus the Bus Edwards. You know, J.K. Dobbins is out for the next few weeks there, so Chargers backfield pretty wide open. And another important step for Vidal is that he appeared to leapfrog Hassan Haskins on the depth chart. Haskins fumbled during the Chargers-Falcons game last week, to where it looks like Vidal's now the number 2 running back there and could end up the number 1 with Gus the Bus Edwards not looking very efficient over there. And he also has a couple of pretty favorable matchups there down the stretch. Vidal could maybe be somebody to keep an eye on. So wide receiver position now. Let's move on to wide receivers. Adam Thielen, baby. Adam Thielen is back, the veteran. Clearly has chemistry with Bryce Young. 8 catches, 99 yards, and a touchdown. The rookie Xavier Legette's done pretty good there as well, but I feel like Thielen is the one to have there in Carolina. Definitely still seems to be the favorite target there for Bryce Young, and an offense that seems to be trending up. Dave Canales has them playing very close competitive football games. Nearly beat the Chiefs and the Bucs the past 2 weeks. They haven't quite been able to close the deal, but hey, if they're keeping things close and putting up numbers, that's all we care about for fantasy. So Adam Thielen, definitely worth a look there, 27.3% rostered. Another one to take a look at, y'all, Elijah Moore went off on Monday Night Football. No Cedric Tillman, so probably not going to see 14 targets every week, but still, I mean, had over 100 yards on 8 catches. Clearly a favorite of Jameis Winston. Browns throwing it a lot more with famous Jameis under center. So Elijah Moore, the Browns receiver, that's kind of flying under the radar, but he's definitely someone that Jameis is targeting a lot. So he's one to take a look at in deeper leagues, as well as NWI, y'all. Nick Westbrook Akine. His numbers are just too good to ignore at this point. If you need a receiver, gets Jacksonville this week. If you need a short-term fix, very juicy matchup. Had 2 touchdowns last week. Now he is up to 8 touchdowns in his past 8 games. It's an unsustainable pace, I'd say, for next year, as far as he's not going to probably have that many touchdowns a game. But for this year, he's clearly a favorite of Will Levis in the red zone. Clearly someone that the Titans are utilizing heavily with no more DeAndre Hopkins. Calvin Ridley kind of up and down. So I think Westbrook-Ikhine at this point is someone, if you're in a pinch, you got to give him a look. Got some pretty favorable matchups down the stretch. Has actually 2 Jacksonville matchups, week 14 and 17. And then the Bengals and Colts the other weeks 15 and 16. So with his current run of production and easy stretch schedule, you got to at least consider Westbrook-Ikhine if you need a receiver. So moving on to quarterbacks now. Caleb Williams, man, he has been cooking lately. Past 2 weeks in tough matchups there against the Vikings and Lions. Big games, over 30 fantasy points the past 2 weeks, which has included 250-plus passing yards and over 30 rushing yards in those games, showing some dual threat ability. DJ Moore and Keenan Allen have gotten their seasons back on track, looking like the Bears offense turning a corner. No more Shane Waldron over there, and now no more Matt Eberflus. So I think the interim coaching staff there is going to clearly turn Caleb loose. He's the future of their franchise. Wanting to see what they got with the young QB, the number 1 pick of last year's draft. So he's not going to win Rookie of the Year or anything, but for fantasy football, I mean, we just want someone that can help us win championships with guys like Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, also in a good amount of leagues. If you're looking for one of those rookie QBs to make an impact for you down the stretch, Caleb Williams might be your guy. But if he's not there, man, Jameis Winston, baby, mentioned him earlier when talking about the Elijah Moore deal. Jameis Winston, only 9.5% rostered. I mean, it's clear that the Browns are a high-volume passing team with Jameis, especially with their defense not being too good. Just got cooked by Denver. And then with Jameis being kind of a risk taker, he throws more interceptions than usual, which for most fantasy leagues, interceptions don't penalize you that much. So even though he threw, I believe, 3 against Denver on Monday night, he more than made up for it with nearly 500 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. Doesn't run a whole lot, but I mean, the amount he throws in the right matchup, he's definitely worth a look in fantasy. Gets the Bengals in week 16. That's a good play. Gets Pittsburgh this week. Thinking, that might be not one to target. But guess what? Pittsburgh's been throwing it a good amount. Russell Wilson been airing it out over there. He got in the shootout last week against the Bengals. So might not be as much of a physical black and blue contest as you'd think with those 2 under center. So Jameis definitely worth a look if you need a QB in the deeper leagues. And now, last but not least, the tight end position. Actually, it is the least important position in fantasy, but it can be one that is a difference maker. So don't completely ignore it. Not a whole lot to like on the waiver wire this week there. I'll be real. If you don't have your tight end, if you're someone that lost Taysom Hill, I'm sorry. There's not much to get. Isaiah Likely, for those that are looking for a second tight end, he's on bye week this week. Not really a fix for this week. But if you're just looking for a second tight end in the roster, Likely's definitely worth a look. He's still a favorite of Lamar. Mark Andrews back as Lamar Jackson's top target at the tight end position. But Likely is still someone to keep an eye on, especially if Rashad Bateman's knee injury lingers. Bateman, one of Lamar's go-to targets this year, but he's banged up yet again. He's been injured, seems like, his entire career. So no surprise that he's hurt again. But I mean, it could open the door for Isaiah Likely. So keep an eye on him when the Ravens come back from bye week. And then Juwan Johnson, I just mentioned Taysom Hill's out for the season. Saints have just been decimated by injuries this year. They got to have somebody to throw to. I mean, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, now Taysom Hill cooked. So Juwan Johnson might be the guy. Had 5 catches, 36 yards last week. Nothing special, but I mean, with no more Taysom, someone's got to catch the ball. So he might be a guy that Derek Carr looks to a good amount down the stretch. Pretty rough offense down in New Orleans. It's just one of them things where if you need help this week at a tight end spot, Juwan Johnson could be a pretty good play going against the Giants. Pretty favorable matchup. So that's it, y'all. That's all I got for waiver wire. Appreciate y'all. Any comments, like, subscribe, all that jazz, anything y'all could do to show love would be much appreciated. So that's it for this one. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out, everybody.